Chief Legal Analyst Cleve Rhodes joining us again now to discuss the legal aspects of this bill. Well, this one's interesting, right?
It is.
Help us understand both sides of the coin here.
I love the way you toss that up to me. Hopefully I can make a good use of this time. So I love history, so I'll take us back a few years. 1940s and 50s is where you need to go back to, because North Carolina already had something on the books for masks. Around the country, people were implementing these types of anti-masking laws. And why were they doing that? Obviously to curb out the KKK. And so, wow, rush of laws pumped in, and they were all in favor of that. Then fast forward to COVID. COVID gets here and we're like, hey, we want people to be able to wear masks, but we got this law in the books that won't allow them. Give the caveat to allow them to go out there and wear a mask and not be breaking the law. That's this exemptions that were put into place. This law is attempting to remove those exemptions and say, listen, this law needs to be followed for people that are wearing masks in public places that are protesting. Now, when you mention both sides, there is concern that people are wearing the mask and using this kind of work around our laws to try to hide their identities. And on the other side, there's people that are saying, listen, they want to be able to wear their mask for the protections that they believe that it's still giving them for COVID, and to be able to conceal themselves like they publicly have a right to do. And so there's a couple of things I can say on that portion of it. I think this law will have an issue if it's challenged at the First Amendment level. If you make a First Amendment level, your speech is not just your words. Your speech is your dress, things that you wear, your clothing, i.e. a mask. And so for you to be able to curb my speech or chill my speech, you have to, as the state, as the government, point to a compelling interest. It must be narrowly tailored, must be the least restrictive means. At the time, the compelling interest at the KKK was violence, to remove the violence that was happening, where folks were getting hung, lynched, and crosses burned in their yards. And they were, marching and protesting about the right to do that. The compelling interest now may change a little bit, because the government will have to point to a compelling interest, i.e. we're trying to curb this mass amount of violence that's happening in our state. And I'm not sure if the evidence will support that on the legal challenge.
They're obviously going after some protesters there who have worn face coverings. How do they point to people wearing a face mask and doing a crime there? Because that's what they're going for. But how do they specify whether somebody just wants to put on a face mask because they're cold, or want to, be safe outside if they're immunocompromised? How do they pinpoint that?
I think that's problematic. And if you listen to arguments, which I did the other day, the opportunity is that one of the lawmakers said that hopefully good common sense law policing will take place in those situations, that he recommended that leaving it up to the law officers at the time, case by case, would be the best way to make sure this law is implemented properly. And I think history has showed us that when you leave it in the hands of a law enforcement officer to decide who's breaking the law and who isn't breaking the law, that case by case situation is typically when you have errors, typically when you get lawsuits, and typically when defense claims selective prosecution. And so I think it's opening the door for a number of litigations, and we are in a litigious society. I think on that end, it would be less likely that a person would be successful. But I think on the larger scope, on the First Amendment issue, I think this one dies on its face, because you cannot point to a compelling interest, something where there is mass murder, where there is mass violence, where we have to stop this in its tracks. And if you can't point to that, the First Amendment prevails every time.